everyone, it's Gigi and I have some project shares for you guys. So let me start off with showing you what I used to make the first card. So I heat embossed and I used this Lindy Stamp Gang called Midnight Teal. And it is so awesome the way it works. It's I guess it's holographic, but it is such a pretty color. And this first card I made because my husband had surgery recently. He's been out of work now for 2 weeks. And I had mentioned it before. I asked for y'all's prayers, and I appreciate everybody who did. So let me show you what else I used. I used this die down here. And just a quick tip, if you did not already know, to let your dies work for you. I didn't need one this long, so what I do is I run it through the first time, and then I flip it over, and then I set it to where I need it on the other side, and I just set it back in, but I let it over top of the other side where it won't cut it. And so it works every time like a charm. And this one is Blueprints 27. So I used this die right here. I also used the Itty Bitty Basics that I just got free when I bought the kit. And I used the Thanks So Much. And then I used this that I just purchased. It's called In Focus Florals. And I used the center one. It's really pretty set. And then I used this cling rubber stamp by My Favorite Things. It's called Trans Triangles Background. And I used some orange colored enamel dots. And lastly, I used this A2 stitched layered card toppers. I used all 3 of them from LDRS Creative. And this is what I made. And if I turn it, you can see how those triangles pop. Do y'all see that color? It is really cool. But this is the card I made, and you see how I shrunk how that fits. Thanks so much. And I think it turned out so pretty, but kind of manly. I made it so it wasn't girly, so he can give it to a surgeon. And he was awesome, and everything went well with my husband's surgery, so I thank God for that. So there was that one. And then next, I used, what did I use? Okay. I used this, this is funny, Hooker's Green Studio 71 acrylic paint for splatter. And what I do with that, I just, I dab some out on an acrylic block, and then I spray it with one of my, I leave it out? I'll just grab one. I have one of these, and I just spritz some spray on top, and I mix it up with my paintbrush, and then I tap like that, my paintbrush, and I get perfect splatter every time. So that's what I used. And then I used some powdered sugar, this white ink, and I'll show you how I used that. And I made a slimline card. So I used this from the Stamps of Life, and what I used was the basic, this to make the card, and then I used also the inner piece, the rectangle die. And then I used the card kit from My Favorite Things. I used the floral focus that I just showed y'all in the last video. So what I used out of the kit was the In Focus floral frames, and you get 4 of them, and I used 3. And I also used the slimline stitch circles that came in the kit. I also purchased the slimline skinny strips, so I used one of those. Can't really see them, but I used one of those. And the sentiment I used from the kit was, "Thank you for all the thoughtful things you do." And this is the card I made. So as you can see, I splattered it. Oh, I also used white splatter. I forgot to show that. Well, I used white paint also, white acrylic paint. But I only, yeah, so I used that. And then I used the white powdered sugar, just a little bit on each little circle area. But I think it turned out so cute. I needed some thank you cards so that I could send them out. So there was that. And then I did another one with this kit, and I did the same sentiment, "Thank you for all the thoughtful things you do." And then I used this slimline. It's called the Scallop Slimline Card Die Set. And I used the scallop, and then I used that square for the center. And then I used some Distress Oxides. I used Tumbled Glass. I used Stormy Sky. And I used Faded Jeans. And then I splattered a white acrylic paint and a blue, but I don't know if I left it out. Oh, yes, I did. I used this cerulean blue. It's so pretty. And this is what I came up with. Thank you for all the thoughtful things you do. And I really like how that came out. So, and then the last card I made, no, this isn't the last one. The next one I made, I used this Trinity Stamp standalone die set called Wonky Stitched Wilderness. So I used the Wonky Stitched. I used, what's the name of this? Oh, here it is. I wrote it on here. I got it printed on here. A Mama Elephant All Prettied Up Creative Die Set. I used the box. I used the kit Weather With You card kit by My Favorite Things. So I used the stamp set, which is called Weather With You. And I used pretty much all of it. Almost. Oh yeah, pretty much all of it. Really cute. The sentiment I used is, "No one stacks up to you." I'll be right back, guys. I gotta let my cat out. Sorry. He wanted out. So no one stacks up to you. And I used the dies that came with the kit to cut everything out. And this is what I came up with. I used my Copics to color. Oh, I also used this die for the grass. It's by Ellen Hull by Sizzix. So I used that. And this is what I came up with. I left the flaps of the box open. And I thought it turned out so cute. And again, here's another example where I used one of those long stitched dies and I cut it shorter so it would work for me. But I love it. And the last card I did, I've been busy. I used this Tim Holtz framelits die called Stitch Circles. I used the Stitch Snowdrifts by MFT. I used the Cute Truck by Impression Obsession. I used the Cute Trailer by Impression Obsession. I used the Trees by Impression Obsession. And I used a sentiment from My Favorite Things, Happy Hedgehogs. And I used I Like How You Roll. And I used a piece of paper from the Homegrown by Echo Park. And this is what I came up with. And I kind of followed, if you follow her, Anna White, she did a very similar design, but I liked her design, so I wanted to follow it. And then I just did a circle on the inside as well, so you could do your little, I can do my writing in it. But I think it turned out so pretty. So guys, that's everything that I wanted to share. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment. Love you guys. Bye.